Hi guys, I have a really deep thoughts about what is freedom in the last weekend. It has been a question that has been hanging in my mind as well for a long time, like what is freedom? And this time I really do a meditation before I really dive deep into the concept. And so I feel like this is like the real deal this time. So I'm going to share with you what I found to inspire you to think of your definition or your version of freedom. So previously, what freedom means to me is very superficial. It's like financial freedom. It's like having the ability to buy whatever I want. That's freedom, I thought, and maybe no need to go to work, maybe to quit the job and to have activity freedom, like do whatever I want without worrying money, or like traveling around the world or living in every places that I want to live. That's freedom. Or going to yoga classes during office hours. So as you can see, like all those goals or all those definition of freedom involves money. So previously, my version of freedom is very much linked to financial freedom. It's like having the freedom supported by money and to do whatever I want. So that's the version before. But this time, after I really have a meditation and really have a more conscious point of view of what freedom is, I can the way I get this answer is by asking myself and answering myself. So it's like an asking and answering by myself and like a conversation with myself. That is how I found out the answer this time. So I highly recommend this approach. You can really speak with yourself. It's fun, it's interactive, and it will help you to generate your own answer without you having to rely on other people's answer for your own life. So I just asked like what is freedom to myself, and after a while I would hear like a feeling, not necessarily a sound, because if you are conscious, we are not our thoughts. Our thought is not us. Our thought is just part of the consciousness for us. So I'll explain this concept later because it's a concept about consciousness that I'm not going to dive deep in here because I'm talking about freedom. But you're not just grabs the concept that you're not your thoughts, and so we're not our thoughts. And so there's a feeling inside that's like I am freedom itself. So it just surprised me that I got this answer because I don't know what it means that I'm freedom. Like I'm not financially free yet, so what does it mean that I am freedom, right? So I keep asking like, what do you mean that I'm freedom? And like I found my high self, like my consciousness, speaking to me, and just here's the answer. Like your consciousness can go anywhere, can do anything, isn't it freedom? Very specific answer, right? Because my consciousness can go anywhere, it can do anything, so it is freedom. So I am freedom. This is huge. This is a huge answer. I didn't expect it. But if I'm freedom, then I'm not going to seek it anywhere, right? I'm not going to seek it externally. Like I don't need to seek for more money in order to get freedom because I am freedom itself. So this is the first answer that I get. Second answer is freedom is inner peace. And I again didn't understand what it means. So I keep asking why. What do you mean? And like I didn't get the answer right immediately after asking. So I only get this answer after maybe a few hours later, after I've finished the conversation and waited for a few hours, and then the answer suddenly pumps into my mind. And what I've got is when I'm not identified with forms. Forms here means physical forms like money or other people or any accomplishment or any things like thoughts or anything like our body that we usually associate ourselves with. When I'm not identified with forms, I'm free from all of these forms. Like I'm not my thoughts, I'm not my body, I'm not like who I think I am, the limited self in this world. I'm free from these forms, and the freedom that comes in a stillness, subtle peace deep within. So freedom is inner peace, meaning that because when I'm free from all of these forms that I had the wrong association and wrong identification with, then I'm free. So that freedom comes with a subtle peace deep down. So freedom is inner peace. Okay, and then I keep having a conversation with myself, something like, am I free now? And then I would answer financially not. I'm still working on it. And I would keep asking like, am I free now? And then I would answer, well, no one's trapping me. Well, no one is trapping me except myself, my desire, and my fear. Obviously, because no one is asking me to work really, but I feel like I have to work because I want more money. So that is my desire and my fear that's pushing myself to work. And for what I have to work on, it's also like my desire and my fear who is just telling me what I need to work on. So sometimes it feels like I am the one trapping myself, not everyone else, not anyone. So I keep asking myself, am I free now? And then the answer is like and then I would answer like, well, I can write freely. and my mind is free. I can imagine anything. So, and then a question come into my mind. Is it? Is it? Like, and then I answer, yeah, I can think whatever I want. And then the question comes again. Is it? Like, and then I answer, well, I may have limiting thoughts, but I'm starting to learn how to release those. So when I release those limiting thoughts, I become more free. So that's the conversation, how the conversation goes. And then after a while, I found the high self, like, again, giving me a huge idea. It says, like, freedom is nothingness. Freedom is nothingness. When you hold on to nothing, you are not dependent or relying on something else. You're not worried about the loss of something. The having or without is not going to influence you. It's not going to affect you. So that nothingness is freedom. Wow, that is another huge idea, right? Because many times we think we need to have a lot of money to feel free. But then when we have a lot of money, what we would be afraid is, what if I made the wrong investment and lost it all? I have been there, so I have experienced that so much, and that fear is so real to me. When we have the money, we would be more conscious and more fear about losing it. So that is holding on to money more tightly. Is that really freedom? I'm not sure. Like, we would buy more insurance to make sure that we are safe in our body, like physically or in our property. And so all that fear, is it freedom? So now my consciousness is giving me the huge idea that freedom is nothingness. And also, freedom is when I have no limiting thoughts. Freedom is when I empty my mind and just be. This is another huge idea, because being ourselves is not associating ourselves with our thoughts, with our body, with our gender, with our role in the society, with our role in the family. It's not associating with anything. It's just being as the infinite power, as we are like infinite abundance, joy, peace, and love. And when we just be, that is when we tap into and connect to our infinite power self. And so when we just be, when we empty our mind and just be, that is where freedom is. And freedom is when we have no limiting thoughts. Being is when my consciousness is free, not identified with materials, bodies, thoughts, or emotions. That is freedom. So as you can see, there are a lot of huge ideas about freedom that I just shared in this video. I hope you are taking some notes, and hopefully this will inspire you to have conversation with yourself, because you never know what will come up. I was so surprised. I didn't expect it. I just keep asking, what is freedom? What is freedom to me? And then this whole conversation came up within like 30 minutes. So I just have a pen and paper with me, and I just write the whole thing down. And like, here it is. I was just reading it out from my notes. So I have this pen and paper with me, and I just write it down. And it was so huge. It was better than any coaches can teach you, better than any coaches can give you the answer, better than any guru, better than any religious can ever teach you about who you are and what your power is. So let me know what is freedom to you. And if there's any question, feel free to ask me. Thank you, and I'll see you next time.